Hi everyone, Russ Vaughan here with Vaughan Timbers. Hey, I'm here at the Sun Mountain Lodge in north central Washington, just outside of Winthrop, attending the Washington Farm Forestry Association annual meeting, and a beautiful backdrop here. As you can see, the Cascade Mountains in the distance. But we're in a landscape that is very fire dependent, and what I noticed driving in here was that we had a lot of trees that were putting other trees at danger, and so in order to save the big trees, we need to thin the rest of the forest, and we need to take out the Douglas fir and some of the other conifers that are choking out these beautiful big ponderosa pine. And with longer fire seasons and hotter summers, we're going to see a continued problem with wildfires threatening our landscape. This landscape down here is incredibly decadent and thick, and will burn when the lightning strikes at the right spot, or when somebody ignites this forest on fire. I don't know if that's a protected area or if it's in an area that can be managed, but there are roads up on the hillside here, there's ranches. And I don't think people understand that when we're talking about management, we're talking in many cases about leaving the biggest and best trees and taking out the trees that are threatening. The threatening trees are the small trees and medium-sized trees, and sometimes even mature trees that are not fire resistant. So they have limbs that go all the way to the ground. They're threatening these big trees that have survived centuries of fire. The only way to save these trees is to manage that forest. We can't really put prescribed fire in there because there's too many trees and too much vegetation, so we need to go in there and mechanically thin, remove some of those trees. There are markets for those trees, and they can pay for their way out of the forest in many parts of the country, but other places they can't. So, we have to figure out how to bridge that gap. But that's still the way it has to be done. I saw some areas yesterday in ponderosa pine stands with lots of mixed conifers that are threatening when the fire comes through there to burn those big pine trees. And what I saw was that somebody or some agency, or I don't know, Forest Service, state, whatever, even could have been local landowner, that they are trying to do their best, but they're just piling up the debris underneath the trees. And so the forest floor is cleaned up, which is nice, but once that fire it comes in there, it's going to crown out and take out everything. They need to take out those smaller and medium-sized mixed conifer trees, open up the canopy so the branches aren't touching one another. And as you can see down here, all of these trees, they're touching one another. So once the fire gets going, there's no stopping it. So I think it just takes a little bit further education that in order to save these forests, we have to manage them.